Live from a local medical facility, it's Brothers in Tights, a wrestling podcast. I'm Lex Dahl.
And I'm Tracy.
Welcome to the first episode.
We're brothers
We're brothers
in tights.
in tights.
It's a wrestling podcast. It's video and audio. Go listen to it and then watch it, or watch it then listen to it.
Yeah. You watched it and you went, I can't get enough of that, but I have to go to work. I'll listen to it in the car.
And if you hear my voice and go, where do I know this voice?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm on ODABs. Our dads are brothers.
And if you hear my voice and go, where have I heard that voice? You may have called the hotel I work at once and asked about reservation info.
What's going on in wrestling this week?
Jack Evans hit a nasty 630 senton and just
landed straight on his head.
Right, didn't look great. I don't know. I wouldn't call it so much the head, but it was like the shoulder blades.
Yeah, it was a neck bump for sure. He looked like he got knocked loopy.
Yeah.
If you could pull it up on Twitter, you could share your screen.
Yeah, I'll share. I'll pull it back up on the twit.
Because then the audio listeners will be like, oh, I gotta go find the video on Spotify.
Do you want to, while I'm looking this up, do you want to promote like anything else we do?
We have a YouTube channel we do together called Punk Rock Blues, and we talk about movies and stuff over there and Blu-rays. It's less of a priority right now because podcasting turns out takes up a lot of time.
Also, I thought it was less
because you have to do a lot of research.
I thought you were going to say because we don't live together anymore.
That also makes it hard.
Okay, I'm going to hit. Am I already sharing my screen?
I don't think so.
Are we good?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, let's watch this again.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
So it lagged pretty hard, so we'll let it play again. Okay. But yeah, so this was at a GCW event. God damn it. That looks awful.
It looks really bad.
And then he goes to pin him and he's like, sorry, Jack.
Well, he goes to move him, and I think
Jack's like, God, dude, I'm dead.
Yeah, I think he can tell, like, he tries to drag him, and I think he can tell, oh, he can't move right now.
I think, you know what Jack was saying at that moment? Stick a fork in me, Jerry. I'm done. That's a Seinfeld quote.
Yeah. I was like, is that something someone once said to Jerry Lawler? Like,
no, it's from the butter shave. It's when he puts all the butter on him and he goes and tans, and then he sits on he falls asleep in the sun. He wakes up and his skin's all cooked. And he's like, stick a fork in me, Jerry. I'm done.
Yeah. Save that for your other podcast. Let's talk a little bit about us for the listeners. So we realized a little bit ago that we are less than a month away from being wrestling fans for 10 years.
Yes.
Our first wrestling show was the Monday Night Raw, the first episode before Raw 1000.
Raw 999.
Yes.
Because we thought it was that SmackDown, but it turns out the SmackDown was our second show.
I always knew it was a Raw. We thought the match that was on the SmackDown was on the Raw.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Because remember when we first started, we were like, oh shit, we gotta watch Raw, we gotta watch SmackDown, we gotta watch Main Event. I dropped off of Main Event, I think, in 3 weeks.
I had everything taped.
Yeah.
I had Raw, SmackDown, Main Event,
Superstars.
Not Superstars. You couldn't watch Superstars on TV. I had Saturday Morning Slam though.
Yes, we liked that.
And I remember, like, I was like invested in it. Like when they announced Mick Foley as the GM, I was like, this is gonna go places. It's like they're gonna bring a title out, and they apparently, I think, had a title made or something, or had plans. Also, I always wanted The Miz to be named GM of Main Event. That never happened.
So I think we just stumbled onto our first episode topic, and it's just our decade as wrestling fans.
Yeah, we could just do that.
Yes. So,
so do you want me to tell the story of how I got us into wrestling? Because I don't know if you fully know it.
Sure, go for it. It was you and Ken watched. You guys watched the second in a lifetime match, or the first in a lifetime match.
It was the once in a lifetime.
Because they aired it on NBC.
Not with Ken.
It was on NBC, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't with Ken. That was with Dwayne.
Oh.
But that was after I decided to become a wrestling fan. So our uncle Ken, former indie pro wrestler, 5 matches at a bar.
Top of the world.
Top of the world. He lost all 5 of his matches, didn't he? Because it was the stupidest promotion because you lost
You
the first 2 matches.
and then it was a flip of the coin after
And there
that.
was a flip of a coin, and he lost the toss every time. I feel like my camera's shaking. I should probably move to a table. Because he's just on my lap.
You can't push anybody debuting.
No, it's
you
horrible.
Can't,
it's horrible. It's horrible.
You can't debut a monster and be like, "Are you to lose twice in a row?" Well, I guess Brock Lesnar did when he came back, right?
Yeah.
Or did he lost to Cena, then he beat Triple H, or did he lose to Triple H?
Triple H. Yeah, he beat Triple H at SummerSlam. It rode till WrestleMania where he lost to Triple H, and that was supposed to be it. I just watched a Paul Heyman interview literally yesterday about how he got to work with Punk and how his whole deal was he didn't want to work with anybody else. He was only supposed to work with Brock Lesnar. They were doing that return. They did SummerSlam. It would ride to WrestleMania. Next Raw, boom, gone. And then he got the call to work with Punk. And that happened.
Which I think is one of his best matches from his return. Well, since he returned in 2012, which was a decade ago. But, since he returned, I think one of his best matches he's ever had was with CM Punk at SummerSlam. And because he actually sold for Punk, too. Like, it wasn't
that was before the German suplex machine, the Suplex City bitch machine.
Yeah.
That he could have good matches and kind of wanted to put on a show. And I think Heyman could also be like, hey, you got to work with this guy.
Because he's good.
So anyways, you got a little bit of wrestling behind you. You got Punk and that's D-Bry, right?
Yes, it's technically Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Yes.
So anyways, our uncle, lifelong wrestling fan, as far as I know.
We'll definitely have to get him on this sometime.
I was thinking
I honestly don't know when he got into it.
Yeah, I've never talked to him about it. I was thinking maybe his birthday.
Sure. We don't know what days. We don't know what day these are coming out yet. We haven't talked. We literally just went, "Hey, let's start this."
Yeah, I literally called. I've been so bored today sitting around on my day off. I was like, we have to record something. Our parents, subpar wrestling fans, they would go to shows, watch either Ricky Steamboat or Ultimate Warrior. That was kind of it.
Our dad, for some reason, likes Mark Henry a fuck ton.
No, does he?
I think so. Or he likes Big Show.
Grandpa.
He likes Big Show a lot.
Dad's a big Brothers of Destruction, Mark.
Okay.
Dad loves Taker and Kane.
And he likes. He's a Fanhausen. He likes Danhausen. He likes American Dragon a whole lot, and he likes John Moxley.
Mom loves Bryan Danielson. Also, Mom loves your least favorite wrestler, Tony Nese.
I hate that guy's so boring.
Anyway, so
you know what sucks about Tony Nese is he has everything that I should like. He's a good technical wrestler. He's got a good look. He's an indie guy. He wrestles a style of wrestling that I prefer. He's just a black hole of charisma, and I'm like, I just don't like this guy. I hear him. He opens his mouth, and I'm just like, just shut the fuck up. You do nothing for me.
Well, anyway,
it's sad.
Our parents kind of watch wrestling, but never. I don't think from the moment you were born, wrestling was ever on in our house.
No, it used to when I think this was before you were born or you were really young. When we lived at Grandpa and Grandma's house, Dwayne would always come over on Mondays to watch Raw, and he'd always sit really close to the TV.
I don't doubt it happened at Grandpa's.
Yeah.
It never happened in our home. But they didn't ever hate it. But I remember we used to actively make fun of Ken for watching wrestling. Like I remember it would be like, well, we can't go over to talk to Ken because so for the listeners or the viewers, we lived in a duplex. Other side was our grandpa, aunt, and uncle. And so we would be like, that way. He's still there. We would be like, we can't go over to talk to Ken right now. Wrestling's on. We'd be like, oh, stupid Ken watching stupid wrestling.
Oh, it's fake.
How I decided to get into wrestling and then eventually drag you down the hole was
because you did get into it first. But we watched our first show together. And then it took me longer to actually be like, oh, this is actually really cool.
I jumped headfirst into it. Like I said, I taped all the shows. I wanted to do everything.
When we first started watching it, CM Punk was literally my only reason for watching.
Right. And which is also the reason you got back into wrestling.
Yes.
But we'll eventually talk about that. So how I decided to become a wrestling fan was one thing that most people know of me is I love action figures. It's my favorite. Probably my favorite thing in the world is action figures. I used to have Power Rangers. I would have superheroes.
I thought you were going to say it was your favorite pastime. I was going to say, but what about baseball?
I love action figures. So like I said, we would always have Power Ranger action figures. We would always have superhero action figures. And you're doing something.
I have a Power Ranger and a superhero figure.
I don't know where you're going. We're recording a podcast.
I literally, you can hear me.
Yeah. So anyways, I want your reaction for this part.
Yes.
And I can't see you though. I want to see your reaction.
Oh, I have a funny story to tell you on the podcast about how I burned myself.
Well, okay. Well, later on. You just halted my story of how we became wrestling fans.
I got the podcast off track. So what were you talking about? Our parents?
I loved action figures.
Our mom's favorite pay-per-view, which is Halloween Havoc 1998.
No. So anyway, mainly I would always be playing with superhero action figures, but 50% of the fun for me, which is a term that we have coined, is playing with the undersuits.
Yes.
Which is when say Superman is Clark Kent, or Iron Man is Tony Stark.
Our dream video game.
Dream video game.
Superman, but it's just the Clark Kent
stuff. The Clark Kent stuff, the Impractical Jokers. I would play the hell of it. I loved the Peter Parker stuff and the Spider-Man. I'm excited for the Wolverine games. I think it'll be a lot of just Logan moping about. Anyway.
Oh, Jean Grey.
So I had a lot of normal superhero Power Ranger action figures, and I would have undersuits for every figure. But it wouldn't be like I did have a Clark Kent action figure, but I wouldn't necessarily have an action figure for every other person. And our mom works at Walgreens, and I was there and saw a John Cena figure, and here's a guy just in shorts and normal shoes, and I was like, well, that'd be a good undersuit. So I decided, I was like, I'm gonna start buying these wrestling figures because they look like real people, because they are real people, and I can use them as undersuits. And I was like, but I have to justify I was 12 at the time, so I have to justify our parents buying me these figures for something that I'm not into. So I went, well, I guess I'll watch wrestling now. So I went over to Dwayne and Ken were both home. And I went over there and went, okay, tell me when it's on. And I had a spiral notebook, and they went, okay, this network, Monday's on at 7's USA. Here's when Impact is on, which is how I knew because Ken used to watch Impact every week just like I did.
Yeah, so did I.
And so I had the whole spiral. I went home, taped everything.
I watched Impact. I watched Impact for at least 3 years, I think, until it left Spike. Whenever it got taken off Spike.
But yeah, so I got in. I
loved Impact for a while. Oh my God, I loved it.
I forced myself to get into wrestling.
The bromans. Ken hated the bromans.
Hated the bromans.
They were so over for me. They would come out, I'd be like, fucking yeah.
So you didn't watch Impact right away. You got into Impact when I made the decision to leave.
Yeah, because I started watching Impact right at the tail end of the Magnus storyline with AJ Styles getting fired, and Magnus won the title, and then he had a fight against Sting, and then shortly after that is when Eric Young became the world champion. Because they went, oh, Daniel Bryan won the title. Who do we have that looks like Daniel Bryan? Eric Young. Put the title on him, even though 3 weeks ago he was a jobber or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't watching any of that.
And then fucking the menagerie. Oh my God. All right, I'm off topic.
Yeah, we'll get there, man. So yeah, and I remember Cena, technically not my first wrestling figure, because I had a Rock figure that I got at a garage years prior. I knew who the Rock was.
And your Chris Benoit.
We just found out my first wrestling figure was a Chris Benoit figure. And but Cena was my first basic Mattel figure, and then my next figure was a Kofi Kingston. And going into getting figures for undersuits like I did was perfect, because Kofi, I don't know if you remember, because I mentioned Power Ranger figures, Red SPD Ranger, I think his name was Brandon.
The actor's name was Brandon.
The character, Brandon.
It was it Jay?
Yeah, that sounds right. I didn't have any figure for an undersuit for him.
My Power Ranger knowledge is not up to date.
Kofi looked just like the Red Ranger from SPD. So I instantly, and the first figure I had of him, he had a red attire. So I was like, oh my God, this is an undersuit. It's a match made in heaven. And then, I just got really into wrestling, made sure I watched it so I could fuel our parents buying me these figures.
Do you remember my first 5 favorite wrestlers?
I do. Yeah. CM Punk.
Yeah.
uh Tensai,
Yeah. Lord
Sheamus,
Tensai.
yeah, Sheamus,
Yeah.
Yoshitatsu,
Oh yeah.
and I think D-Bry made it.
Yep. No, it was Tyson Kidd.
Was Tyson Kidd right away?
Yeah, because I did not like Daniel Bryan at first because he had the short hair and I thought he looked like a geek.
He was doing. What's so bad about that though?
I do not like Dragon with short hair. He looks weird.
I don't like it, but I'm saying, what's wrong with being a geek?
There ain't nothing wrong with being a geek. Like
Look at
this
the room
fucking
you're in.
song. What's that? Who sings that? The Cowpokes? That's not their name.
I don't remember. I know what song you're talking about, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. Is it not just I Fight Dragons?
No, they
Oh,
sing
it's Deaf Pedestrians.
Deaf Pedestrians. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, our first episode of Raw was Raw 999. It was, I believe, right after Money in the Bank. Ziggler and Cena had won 2012. I was a big Cena fan from the get-go because I was a kid and because I knew the name Cena, first figure.
My first foray into wrestling before I watched wrestling is one year for Christmas. Grandma bought me a John Cena t-shirt from Hot Topic and then gave me the receipt and went, "Do you like John Cena? If not, you can return this." And I ended up returning it and I got a Transformers hoodie with the money I used.
I remember that hoodie.
Yeah.
And then my first wrestling t-shirt was a John Cena t-shirt.
Yeah, because I have a funny getting into wrestling experience because most people get into wrestling when they're kids. Like you were 12.
Right. I was 12.
And then they're like, "Oh, I watched it as a kid and I still watch it as an adult." I was 17 years old when I
you were about
started
to
watching
graduate
wrestling.
high school.
Yeah.
So
And
now
I remember being embarrassed at first. Like I didn't tell any of my friends at high school that I was watching wrestling because I was like, I don't want them to make fun of me. Now I tell everyone.
And wrestling,
anyone who will listen.
Wrestling for you growing up compared to when I was growing up was different because like you were born in the 90s, people talked about it. And you guys, I think your generation had that complete knowledge of, oh, wrestling's fake. I had never heard that in my entire life. I had never heard the wrestling was fake then.
Yeah, see, I even knew about wrestling in elementary school because people would always talk about it. And
yeah, but I 100%.
And one of my favorite movies as a kid, Pile Driver. I give you the elbow drop.
Yeah. So when we got into wrestling, I did not I was complete. It was real to me, damn it. I remember when you guys told me that wrestling was fake and that like the decisions were planned ahead of time, it broke me. I almost started crying in the dining room. But I think about it sometimes because I believed everything that was on screen. I knew they were real people fighting and these were matches. And I remember being heartbroken when AJ left Daniel Bryan at the altar. I was like, why would she do that? And stuff
she
like
was
that.
Crazy.
I like stuff like that. But then I think back to those times and I'm like, I was 100% in the belief of pro wrestling. How the fuck did I believe in like Kane and Undertaker? They were out there setting fires and doing lightning bolts, and I was like, I was just on board. I was like, I guess this guy can do it. He's got powers.
Yeah, but I think when we first started getting wrestling, everything was a lot more over, especially in WWE. Which I should preface this: I don't watch WWE anymore at all, and that's what we started with, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, in the realism of you mentioned like the Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought, so I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, so
I was gonna say when we first started getting into it too is when the Shield debuted.
Well, like, they debuted in November.
Yeah,
we had months.
God, I was super over with them.
We had months to get there. So I want to ask this though.
Yes.
As I have told the story, randomly, I want figures. I'm getting into wrestling. I'm taping everything.
I don't remember any of the matches from the first episode of.
I'm not saying that's not what I'm asking. No, that's not.
I vividly remember the second show.
That's not what I'm going to ask. But so like, I decided that I'm getting into this thing. Yes. I don't ever remember approaching you being like, hey, come on this wrestling journey with me. So what made you, if you remember, to also be like, well, he's doing it? Because we get into I get into stuff constantly and you don't join me. So like, what was wrestling that you randomly decided, yes, I'll also sit down and watch this, and now all of a sudden be fans of it for a decade?
It was you were watching the John Cena versus The Rock match on NBC in the living room. Dad,
I watched that at Grandpa's though.
I don't think so.
Because it was with
And
Dwayne.
anyway, you were watching that, and I think I came and sat and watched it and was like, this doesn't really interest me. And then you were like, well, I'm watching Raw on Monday. We'll watch it. And I think I just sat down and watched it and then just kind of was like, oh, it's whatever. And then I think I remember CM Punk coming out and me being like, oh shit, I like this guy.
I do actually remember watching it because that NBC feature of Rock versus Cena
Yeah.
was like a documentary.
Yeah, we own it. I own it
Um,
on DVD.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
called the Once in a Lifetime or
once in a
whatever.
lifetime. Is I don't love that match.
No, I don't really
I
like any Rock matches. If
do,
I'm being
yeah,
honest, I
I
don't
do
really
love
like him.
I do love the finish of that match.
I don't know
The
it.
It's Cena goes to mock the Rock for a people's elbow, and as he bounces off the rope, Rock gets up to rock bottom Cena and pins him. It's a really good finish
Hmm.
because they both have those moves because they
It's
have
like
the
a
five.
30-minute match, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the main event of WrestleMania.
I don't want to watch it.
Not saying to watch it. It just saying it's a good finish because I think the Rock at one point tries to do the five knuckle shuffle, and Cena counters it. And so it's like that's the thing is they both have those kind of moves where they lay the guy out, do a little thin, bounce off the ropes, and hit a move. And so it's Cena trying to mock The Rock with his move, which also rock bottom, one of the worst finishers in wrestling history.
Yeah, it doesn't look
Not
very
the rock
cool.
bottom, sorry, the people's elbow.
Oh, I don't like either of them. The People's Elbow.
I
Is that an actual finisher though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he finished like I think more matches with the people's elbow than he did the rock bottom, and it
it's
just feels like such.
insane.
It feels like a burial to me to take that move.
Mick Foley refused to take it,
Yeah,
or he refused to sell for it. Maybe.
maybe, or at least maybe he refused to finish for it.
Yeah, there was some. He talked about in one of his books.
But
Not that
like
I read
it's
it,
just
but
like I've watched matches where The Rock beats Big Show with it. It's like really, you just took down Big Show with an elbow drop, a stand-in elbow drop. It's not even a diamond elbow drop. What are you
I've
doing?
seen Big Show lose to fucking TJP. So I'm
Okay,
not really,
no,
but
that's nowadays. That's since we've gotten into wrestling. Which also I think back to. It's weird that Big Show got heavily pushed in 2012.
he
Um,
yeah, and he turned so fucking much.
yeah, but I'm talking about back in like the 90s when Big Show was still this legitimate giant, and they're having him take the people's elbow to finish the match.
Well, to be honest, from his debut, they've always booked him kind of weird. Because like, look at what his debut was that.
His
It,
debut is that he cost McMahon the match.
yeah. I was just gonna say he
Yeah.
threw Stone Cold out and won the match.
I remember right as we got into wrestling, like we said, it was like right after Money in the Bank 2012. And I remember being at Ken's place and Dwayne was over and he was telling Dwayne everyone that was going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Because 2012, the one that Cena won, it
Yeah,
was billed as the All-Star Money in the Bank. It only had like 5 participants.
I know
I think
Kane was one of them.
it's if Kane's in that year, it's Cena, Jericho, Big Show. Those are like the three I know. There's only like 5 participants in that match. It was like this all-star of Money in the Bank. And it was weird because it was Cena's first Money in the Bank.
See, I think
But
the 2013 Money in the Bank is an all-star. Had CM Punk, had Randy Orton,
and
had Rob
Christian,
Van Dam, it had
RVD, yeah,
Christian.
yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, but so he
Also, the
told
Elimination Chamber 2014 is my favorite Elimination Chamber match.
so he told Dwayne everyone that was in it, and he was explaining the concept to me of what Money in the Bank was. Because this was right as I knew I was going to get into wrestling. And I remember asking him because he was talking about how All Stars and how long it's been going. And for some reason, the only wrestling name I thought to ask, I asked, did Jake the Snake ever win it? 2005. And Jake was not wrestling in WWE at the time. No, because he wrestled in the 80s.
And the 90s, which is weird.
Right. Prime was the 80s.
He lost in the King of the Ring. He made it to the finals of King of the Ring. So
Yeah.
weird.
You ever watch that whole pay-per-view? I have.
No. We can. We can do an episode on it. We should also watch.
That was Ken was there live. That was in Milwaukee. We could have Ken talk about it. Austin 316.
Yeah. We should also watch a WCW pay-per-view sometime because I've never watched a full one. And that could be just a train wreck, maybe.
Were they all bad though?
I don't know. At least one from 1999 would be terrible.
Sold Out 2001.
And I've watched one Impact pay-per-view all the way through. Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but it just autoplayed on YouTube once, and I sat there and watched the entire pay-per-view.
Bound for Glory 2012 is. I remember that being a pretty good pay-per-view.
I don't know any match from that.
Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that was the triple threat match. It was Styles versus Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode.
Yeah, that's when we were allowed to like Austin Aries.
Yeah. And the person who got pinned or submitted in the triple threat match could never I think they got fired. And so Styles got pinned. That was also the start. So that was Austin and Roode were feuding, and then they became their tag team, which went on to win 3 World Tag Team Championships together or something. Gail Kim was, I think, Knockouts champ when I started watching wrestling. Tag champs were, I think it was Chavo Guerrero and Homicide.
In Impact?
Yeah, I think they were the Impact Tag champs when I got into.
They might have been. That sounds familiar.
They were very prevalent on TV, but I'm pretty sure, they were the World Tag Team champions. I remember also,
I'm going to look up the lineage now. I can tell you when I started.
The television championship also changed hands 3 times immediately when I started watching. It was Mr. Kennedy, RVD, Samoa Joe, and Kenny Ken all won it right away.
Which one?
The TV championship.
Oh, and then Abyss won it, and they never mentioned it again.
Devon held it, and then Abyss won it.
Abyss held it for 600 days, and then they finally went, oh yeah, that title doesn't exist.
Oh, Impact. I remember they had some show with a title change, and I read about it online, and I threw a fit because to me, I thought wrestling was live, which I mean Raw is. And
it had to be Chavo and Hernandez because I don't remember Bobby Roode and Austin Aries holding it.
See, I do because that was right after I said, that triple threat match is what started their partnership.
This brings back so many memories. The Bromans, then the Wolves. They held it for 7 days. Then the Bromans, then the Wolves. Because I always hated that because I was like, God damn it, the Wolves just debuted. They were on fire, and then they took the titles right away from them again. And I was like, damn it, that sucked. It's crazy Eddie Edwards is still there.
Yeah, so I thought all wrestling was live. I even thought Saturday Morning Slam was live. And it was filmed months apart from airing.
Yeah.
Months. And
kind of like how the ROH ones were. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. I used to watch ROH weekly.
Right.
Which I don't know if you ever got into ROH.
No, because it was 12:45 in the morning on Saturdays.
It was Friday nights. Oh no, it was Saturdays.
It was Saturdays.
Yeah.
I got into
and sometimes it would be even later because if they had a preemptive show or whatever, sometimes it wouldn't start till 12:15 or 12:30 or 12:22. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I got into ROH for a little bit because
there was no storylines. It was just, hey, here's a match from one show. Oh, here's a match from a different show. Here's a match we filmed in a back alley. It's here, have them all at once. What the hell is going on?
I don't remember how it happened, but I was at our grandma's place. Somehow it was late enough that ROH was on, and I convinced her to turn it on, and that's how I became a Silas Young fan. Was he had a match, and so I wanted to start watching ROH. I wanted to start watching ROH for Silas Young, but it was so hard to watch it because you watch it and they'd go, "We have nothing tonight. Here's 4 months ago." And they just randomly replay something. I'm like, I don't care about this match from 4 months ago. Give me more Silas Young. I was a huge Silas Young mark for a month.
I always remember looking at the roster for ROH and being like, I've never seen these people ever wrestle on TV. And it's because they just wouldn't show their matches on the TV shows because they weren't big enough names. They'd always show, Adam Cole or The Kingdom or The Decade.
Any time of those replay shows from 4 months ago, I watched a Young Bucks match constantly.
Oh, the Young Bucks. God, I've been marked for them for so long.
So yeah, that's how we got into wrestling.
My favorite tag team. Yeah, of our decade as wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Ryback versus Jinder Mahal was the feud that got us hooked.
Technically, yes. We were somewhat invested in the Ryback Jinder Mahal feud.
Because I remember it, because Jinder Mahal would come out and he'd take is it a turban? Is that what he had?
Yeah.
Okay, so he would take his turban off and he put it in that glass case.
Yep,
and he's like, no one can touch my turban. And then Ryback came out and like knocked it over and was like, feed me more. And then he lost. Jinder Mahal lost. And Jinder
Yeah,
Mahal was
because
like, oh, God damn it.
I honestly thought I was like, because I knew they told us right away Ryback's undefeated, and that feud started. I went, this is gonna be the guy. Like Ginger's gonna do it.
And it's crazy to think that of those two people,
Yeah, who's the world champ? Who's still there? Who is not one of the most hated men in professional wrestling right now?
I don't know what you're talking about. Ryback should have been a world champion. He still has the material right now. I think
He does not have the
he could
material.
he could walk in and be booked to win a world title on day one and he'd get over.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he would.
He'll never return to WWE.
If Del Rio can, he can.
Del Rio can't.
He says he keeps saying he's
Both
trying.
of those guys keep saying they are gonna, and they can't. It's not gonna happen. WWE has come out and been like, "Stop listening to Del Rio. It's not happening."
But they haven't said no to Ryback because they know.
I think after the whole good on Vince McMahon's mom for dying, I don't think he's gonna come back.
Yeah, well, Vince isn't gonna be around for much longer.
Yeah, so Stephanie's gonna bring him back.
Yes, she's gonna be like, I need to feed that guy some more. That's his new.
Like, hey,
that's his new gimmick.
You said my grandma deserved to die. Come on back.
Yeah. You know, like how Christian came back with the t-shirt that says outwork everyone and he doesn't really work all that often. Yeah, he would come back and it's feed him some more. Instead of feed me more, he's like, no, I want some more. He's like, I'm still hungry.
I was gonna bring it up, and then you brought up Christian. I thought you were gonna bring it up. Do you remember when Christian just every week would be like, "All I need is one more match to make it back to the top," and they would just keep giving it. Like he had a match every week.
Yeah,
and he'd be like, "One more match, though," and we're like, "How many more matches? Is the guy retired? How many more matches is this guy gonna have?" Because he did it as a heel. It was after he lost the World Heavyweight Championship and turned heel. He kept saying, I need one more world title match. It was a heelish thing to do. But at this point, Christian was a face, and he was very over. And he's like, guys, one more match. We're like, so you're
Christian
retiring.
Never got his Intercontinental title match.
Yeah, I know. And then it was perfect because he returned in the 2021 Royal Rumble. Big E was Intercontinental Champion. Christian was cleared to wrestle again. I kept saying, I was like, it's happening at Mania. And then Christian just bounced, left immediately to AEW, just deflected. And I was like, why are you still robbing the fans of this? Big E can never wrestle again. You can be on top of the world.
36 whole weeks.
36 whole weeks.
I was gonna say, I think that's the reason I like Christian more than Edge, because I'm not an Edge fan, is because Christian was still an active wrestler when we got into it, whereas Edge was retired at that point. Yeah. And also, I just think Christian's better.
It's also hard as a wrestling fan, and I feel this with music too sometimes. It's really hard in wrestling where they tell you the old people you need to like.
Yes.
It's shoved down your throat that, Edge is a Hall of Famer, but he was great for 20 years or however long he wrestled for.
Yeah, and then if you look at his career, you're like, he was good for maybe 6 years.
Hey, he's a 7-time world champ, but you had him hold it for like 20 days each time.
Yeah.
And like, your Hogans and your Rocks. It's like I go back and I get it, but I'm not the biggest Rock fan, Or like, God damn it, if WWE ever
Hogan.
Hogan sucks. Or, if WWE ever lets you, like, I don't know what happens. I feel like they'll do Chinese water torture on you if you tell them you don't like Stone Cold. Because I don't like Stone Cold.
Stone Cold's match at Mania this year was better than anything I thought it could have been. Yeah. But he did look like shit. Yeah. And then the Vince McMahon stunner was the worst thing I've ever seen in wrestling history. It was worse than the Shockmaster, I think.
I loved it, though.
Which we've only seen after the fact. Is Sid Vicious's leg injury the worst thing in pro wrestling history? Outside of the Benoit tragedy?
I watch it so much. I don't know. It's just one of those things.
It's so
No, I think there's worse. I mean, you can't say outside of Benoit because like Owen Hart, Paraguayo Jr., Bruiser Brody, like there's like those are actual victims of the pro wrestling business. Whereas like Sid's fine today.
He's just off playing softball or whatever he does.
Didn't even end his career.
Remember, he got into a scissor fight with Arn Anderson one time. Have you ever heard about that story?
Yeah.
Where they cut each other with scissors. They like stabbed each other with scissors, and they had to go to the emergency room.
It's horrible to watch, but there are, like I said, I watch that. I'm just like, oh my God. There are certain like actual bumps. Like we opened the show with the Jack Evans bump. Like that's like hard to watch almost, even though we've replayed it so many times. But like, yeah, I think about like Goldberg's mule kick.
Yeah.
There's certain like just other like actual injuries that are like hard to watch.
I wonder what Bret Hart thinks about Bill Goldberg this week.
What do you mean?
He does an interview every single week where he's like, "Yeah, I don't think Bill Goldberg's a very good wrestler." Have you not seen those? He does this all the fucking time. Every single interview he does, they don't even bring up Goldberg. He just works it into the conversation.
Yeah,
they're like, "Hey, so what do you think about what Natalia's doing with Ronda Rousey right now?" And he'll be like, "Oh, Natalia, she's great. She trained in the Hard Dungeon. She's close with my family or whatever. She's great. She's really cool. She's way better than that Bill Goldberg, who I just think is not a very good wrestler in any way." He just works it in no matter what. It's great.
Yeah.
I love Bret Hart. He was a cowboy on that one TV show. Do you remember that? He took a sabbatical from wrestling in 1996 to go star on that cowboy show, and it never got picked up.
I don't think that we could get Bret Hart on this podcast unless we just guarantee him like 10 minutes to talk shit about Goldberg. But
God, I would love that.
Who are some people you think we could get? I think we could get Sporcle.
Maybe, or I was thinking, this is totally off topic, and we'll get back to what you just asked, but I found out what RJ City stands for. He said it on an episode of Hey EW.
Okay.
Do you know what the RJ stands for?
No.
Raul Julia.
Does it actually?
No. Ricky Starks asked him, and he was like, "What does the RJ stand for?" He goes, Raul Julia. And then Ricky Starks goes, "The Addams Family guy?" And then Powerhouse Hobbs, stone-faced, goes, "Street Fighter." So maybe RJ City, but he's getting paid the big bucks now, I feel.
Yeah.
He would have done it.
Yeah.
We just need a small-time guy.
Swoggle, I think we can get.
Dad?
Like, hey. Dad?
Yeah. He just wrestled his first match.
Yeah. I just meant our dad.
Oh, we could get our dad.
Our dads are brothers. And do a weekly podcast every Thursday.
We could get Nathan, who famously watches 10% of wrestling a year or whatever he said in that one episode of Odebs.
I think we get Swoggle because it'd be like, hey, we're Wisconsin boys. We can talk Wisconsin and wrestling. I think we could get Dave Dutra.
We have to find really poor wrestlers because we don't want to pay them.
It'd be a mark fest for me to get Dave Dutra. I also think we could get Charlie Cruel, who is one of my favorite indie wrestlers right now.
What about Warhorse? You think Warhorse would do this?
Only if we ask him in all caps.
Or what about Dan the Dad? Or Effie? I like Effie.
Effie, I just watched a horrible botch of his the other day.
Theirs.
Pretty bad. Effie's theirs?
I think so. We could get Joey Ryan?
No. We could probably get Ryback. I don't want him, though. I think we get, like I said, I don't know why.
Ryback, are you still hungry? And please also, can you confirm that you're not retired so that'll shut my brother up?
Doesn't he have like some Hungry Man type food deal?
I thought he had supplements for a while.
That's what I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Feed me more.
So what are some segments you have? Do you have any segment ideas for this show? Like I said, I'm down for opening up Sporcle.
Yeah, you wanted to do a Sporcle quiz. I think that could be fun.
I'm gonna search Sporcle 2012.
Okay. WWE 2012?
WWE 2012, not Sporcle 2012. Because that was when this one's called WWE 2012 A Year in Review. Can you pick the answers in 2012? That's 10 years ago when we start watching. It's got 50 questions.
Okay.
I'll share my screen. Play quiz. Are you ready? I'm ready. We got 10 minutes.
I'm ready.
January 2nd, the end of the world ends up being the return of this former WWE champion who doesn't say a word for weeks.
Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho, yeah. January 9th, in an odd move, this legend is announced for the WWE Hall of Fame despite being under contract to TNA. So the 2012 Hall of Fame, I don't know the 2012 Hall of Fame.
Hit next for that one.
Yeah. January 9th, this wrestler redebuts and fans expect him to be a monster heel and stays a comedic dancer. That's Brodus Clay.
Yeah.
January 15th, this duo of cousins win the tag titles at a house show. That's Primo and Epico. January 17th, less than 2 months after his first wellness policy suspension, this high flyer is again suspended. He's rarely seen again.
Evan Bourne.
So I was going to say, just let me finish reading it. January 29th, Royal Rumble. This woman becomes the third female to participate in the Rumble. It leads nowhere. She never appears in the WWE again. That's Beth Phoenix?
Nope.
No.
It is Karma.
January 29th, Royal Rumble. This manager appears in the Rumble and helps Mick Foley eliminate Justin Gabriel.
This manager?
Teddy Long's an option. We're going to go next on that, though.
Yeah.
January 29th, Royal Rumble. This wrestler wins the Rumble match after entering 22. That's Sheamus.
Well, John Cena, right?
No, that was 2013.
Oh, no, that was 2013. Yep.
Sheamus. February 19th, Elimination Chamber. John Cena defeats this wrestler and in a feud that used reverse psychology to try to get fans to cheer Cena.
That's Kane.
March 5th. This wrestler at an international became popular. Despite this, he's made out to be a loser. Ideas seduced by women who had already turned on with Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
March 31st, the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony is headlined by this former champion a year after his retirement, Edge.
It was Edge, yeah.
Yep. April 1st, WrestleMania. This show begins with a world title match featuring the reigning champ, and it looks to be a good one until this man is pinned just 18 seconds in. It's Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
April 1st, WrestleMania, and a special once-in-a-lifetime main event. This wrestler prevails. It's The Rock.
Yep.
April 2nd, the wrestler returns, but he looks different from his past personas. Thankfully, the know-it-all WWE fans chant his old name so we can figure out who it is. No, that was later in the year. We chanted his name. Is it Tensai?
Yeah, it's Tensai because they said Albert. Yep.
April 2nd, after losing in the WrestleMania main event, John Cena makes jokes until this former champion returns and destroyed him. The crowd is happy. April 3rd, this Hall of Famer passes away.
I'm guessing Chief J Strongbow.
Yeah, just because it's an option there.
Yeah, he's the only dead one I see.
April 6th, after losing his job as SmackDown GM, this non-wrestler attempts to resign, was forced to stay on as assistant.
I'm pretty sure that's Teddy Long. So the manager was Abraham Washington then.
No.
This European makes his television debut.
John Laurinaitis. This European grappler, that's Antonio Cesaro. Abraham Lish, that was AEW. He's the manager to the Primetime Players. I forgot about him. Right. John Laurinaitis was GM still, till May. April 29th, Extreme Rules, a former women's champion. This wrestler claims her first Divas title. Okay.
Next.
Okay.
Yes, because we got to start picking up the questions.
April 29th, Extreme Rules. This wrestler wins the Intercontinental title for the second time in a tables match. It's Cody Rhodes. Just watched that match this morning.
An episode of Raw this time wins the tag team titles.
Kofi and R-Truth?
I think so.
Kofi and R-Truth. April 30th, this duo was fired in storyline and later released from the company. This duo.
That was Team World Scott. No, that would have been the Brotherhood.
They weren't even together yet. The Bella Twins?
Come back to that one.
May 4th is in Texas. Yeah. May 14th, this wrestler is fired in storyline and be soon to turn for Ironclad Con.
That's Big Show. Yep.
Yeah. May 20th, over limit for the first time since 2003, this wrestler wins the Intercontinental Championship. Christian.
Yep.
May 20th, over the limit in a rather bad match. John Cena loses the main event to this non-wrestler, John Laurinaitis.
Yep.
No way out. This team wins a 4-way match to become #1 contenders to the tag team titles. Team Road Scholar Primetime Players.
You think so?
Because Team Road Scholar wasn't a team yet. Team Hell No wasn't a team yet. We can skip it, but I think it's got to be them.
All right, click it.
Yeah. July 9th, this individual was revealed to be the anonymous. Yeah. Money in the Bank. This wrestler wins a Money in the Bank ladder match for a world title, heavyweight title. It's called Ziggler. At Raw 1000, this former WWE champion wins his first Intercontinental title. The Miz. At Raw 1000, this Raw champion turns heel, attacking
Punk.
Named the new Raw GM. That's AJ Lee. August 10th, less than 2 weeks after telling a controversial joke on the Raw, this manager is released with Abraham Washington. August 19th, SummerSlam pre-show matches. Community wrestler loses the U.S. title. It's Santino Marella. SummerSlam in the main event, this former champion submits to Brock Lesnar, Triple H. In NXT, this future star pins Jinder Mahal becomes the inaugural NXT champion, Seth Rollins. September 10th, in a scary moment, this non-wrestler has a heartache during Raw.
Jerry Lawler.
Right after I met him. That was a week after I met him. September 16th, Night Champions, this odd couple wins the tag team title.
That's Team Hell No.
Night Champions, this women wins the Divas Championship for the third time. That's Eve. This high flyer teams with Rey Mysterio for the first time. Sin Cara. For the fourth time, this wrestler wins the Intercontinental title. Kofi, I think, beat The Miz for it. Or no, maybe Wade? I don't think it's Kofi.
Hit next time.
Yeah, I think it was Wade. Hell in a Cell is Joe defeats the tag champs by disqualification of Team of Scholars. Hell in a Cell, in some bad time, this wrestler gets a title match in a Hell in a Cell match, substituting for an
That's
injured John
Ryback.
This woman and former GM becomes the managing supervisor, spelled wrong, but that's Vicky Guerrero. Survivor Series woman unsuccessfully challenges for the Divas title.
I think it's Caitlyn.
Dominant faction debuts. That's the Shield.
Yep.
In an ill-advised move, this main event wrestler turns face for the first time in his WWE career. Del Rio, maybe?
It's got to be Del Rio.
Why is that ill-advised? His face turn worked for him.
Not really.
Wasn't Big E. In one night, this woman wins the number one contenders match and unsuccessfully challenges for the Divas title. I think that might be Caitlyn. I don't know. This wrestler has an impactful debut. That's Big E. On the final Raw of the year, this wrestler wins the Intercontinental title for the second time. So that's got to be Kofi then. I think that's Kofi. I don't know. Let's keep going. In an odd move, this legend is announced for the WWE Hall of Fame despite being
under Ric Flair.
But Ric Flair went in the night
Ric
before.
Flair.
He went in the night before. I don't.
It's the only one it can be. Yep.
Royal Rumble, this manager appears, so that has to be Ricardo then.
Yeah.
I think that is Ricardo. Yep. Okay, so this is Layla. This has to be the Bella Twins.
Yep. I don't think that's Wade because he
held it a lot before.
Okay, yeah, click it.
So it's
Kofi.
So this has to be
Caitlyn.
You think it's Caitlyn?
Yes. And that's Del Rio.
Naomi. So this is Wade then. This is so we got 98%.
Nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We want to do another Sporcle or anything?
Sure. Find another.
Pay-per-views, all championship matches, all matches.
Yeah. Can you name the WWE pay-per-views? Go up.
Pay-per-views that's easy. That's just 12 pay-per-views.
I don't think so. Open it in a new tab.
Is it 2012 or 2013?
I know I was wondering.
Yeah. Well, we know Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
We know
WrestleMania.
No Way Out.
SummerSlam.
Did they do Elimination Chamber and No Way Out? They did. Hell in a Cell, SummerSlam, Money,
Survivor Series,
The Bank, TLC, Survivor Series, Over the Limit, Extreme. Yes. Oh, there's one more. Night of Champions.
Or was it Vengeance? Oh, okay. Well, that was easy.
Vengeance was 2011.
Okay. That was stupid. That was a
stupid quiz. That would be.
I thought it was going to be like every pay-per-view match or something.
The average score is 81%. Do people not remember
click quiz stats? I want to see what the which one's the hardest for people to get.
You have to get emailed to do it?
You have to sign in. Do you not have an account?
I have an account. I'm just not logged in. I'm not going to log in right now.
Okay.
All championship matches?
Or there's WWE, TNA, and ROH champions of 2012.
How well do you know ROH for 2012, though? And I won't know any TNA before we started watching.
Click into it. Let's try that one. We can get it by process of elimination, I think.
Yeah, so we know CM Punk.
Yes.
We know Christian.
Type in Jericho.
Chris Jericho did not hold a title in 2012.
You can just type last name, by the way. Type in Cena.
Cena didn't hold a title in 2012.
Ziggler.
He didn't hold one.
Rhodes.
Tino Morella.
Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes? No, that okay.
Young. Type in Young.
It was Young. Oh yeah, okay.
Okay,
ODB.
Duke Jackson. Type in Jackson. Okay, type in Abyss.
R-Truth, Abyss. That was in 2012.
Hold
on.
All right, so it's alphabetical, so we can figure this out. Who's Christian and CM Punk? Who's between that? It's
TNA. Chavo.
You try that. There we go.
Oh, so we still have one. We still have one. In between H and M, I, J.
Type in Fish. Okay. Type in Cole. Do Taven. Do Hardy.
Hold on. Let's just bust out WWE's real quick.
Okay. Angle. Aries. Rude. Storm. Foley.
What title did Foley win in 2012?
I thought he won the TNA title.
No.
Sting? Did we try Sting yet? Okay.
Who's
Magnus? Who is Magnus's partner? And is Doug Williams? Okay, so it wasn't him. It was Magnus and somebody. They were the British invasion.
Does this count in NXT?
I don't think so. Type in AJ Lee.
I don't think she held. That wasn't that year.
Okay. Did we get Daniel Bryan? Oh, Kane.
I didn't hold it. Oh yeah, that's right. Zack Ryder. That Swagger.
Barrett.
I think I tried him and it didn't work. Oh, no, Walker.
Who the fuck is after Zack Ryder in TNA? Oh, Zima Ion.
Zima Ion, yeah. So who were the bromans? Robbie E. And it was the other guy, Jesse.
Yeah, Goddard's.
What was his? Was that his ring name?
Oh, Robbie E was the TVs. They weren't tag team yet. Bromans was later. Okay, X Division. Did we try Aries? Yeah, we got.
Yeah, we got Aries.
All right. Who was X Division at that time?
AJ ever? Yeah, AJ was a champ in 2012. I can't believe James Storm wasn't.
I know. Okay, try Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley.
When did the American Wolves win it?
That's 2014. Yeah. Try Brother or Devon. Bully Ray.
Bully Ray, that was his, yeah.
Try Jeff Jarrett.
In 2012? Don't know what you're talking about. Who would be in between G? So it'd be a TNA wrestler. It's H. Hogan didn't win a title, right?
I honestly don't know.
Who's in between Jeff Hardy and Kane for a J?
Who's between Daniel Bryan and Devon?
That's what I was just thinking.
ROH.
Yeah.
Oh, try Steen. Okay, and try Generico. Okay. Try Lethal. Okay, try Briscoe. It's got to be yep. Okay. ROH. Oh, Natalia was champion in ROH.
No, how would she have been champion in ROH?
No, I thought in WWE. What about any of the Bellas? Were they women's champion in 2012?
Yes.
Okay. Who would be after Eric Young? It'd be an F, either an E or an F. Fernando?
No, that wasn't. That was too early. Oh yeah, Primo and Epico though.
There we go. Okay. Who's the D in ROH?
Did Danny? What's his name? What's the American Wolves guy's name?
Davey Richards.
Did he hold anything? Yeah.
Oh, try Eddie Edwards. Oh no, he would have been. Who would be the first M before Magnus? Type in Love. I was thinking Angelina Love. I don't think she ever. Oh, she did hold it.
Yeah,
okay.
She did hold it. Yeah. Could the TNA be an L in between Layla and Magnus?
It maybe could. TNA and L. We're gonna. You know what always happens when I finish a Sporcle quiz? When I see the answers, I just go, God, I feel like an idiot. Between AJ Styles and Austin Aries. Oh, Alberto Del Rio.
I think I tried that. Yeah. I think he won in January of 2013.
Who could that be then? A
K A L L.
It's gotta be Alundra Blaze.
And
just let it finish. Let's find out. We're gonna feel like idiots. I know we are. Happens to me every time. I go, oh, why didn't I think of that one person?
Antonio Cesaro. Beth Phoenix, I almost put her, but I thought that was 2011. Charlie Haas, Christopher Daniels.
Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, Jacobs.
Eve Torres, Jimmy Jacobs, Kazarian, Madison Rain.
Project Strong. See, how did we not think of him?
Greg Tyson, Shelton Benjamin, Steve Carino.
We would have never got Steve Carino.
We would have never gotten Tara.
I forgot about Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas.
Yeah. We got one more to do here. 10 minutes every match. WWE Championship.
All right, type in Cena.
I was just going to go down the line.
Let's just type in Cena. All right.
I know Ziggler. I know Jericho.
Type in Miz. Barrett.
Cody Rhodes. Barrett. Kingston.
Swagger.
Swagger. Why did Christian not go up?
Because it's probably already in all the other ones.
All right.
Del Rio.
He's probably already there. Oh, there's one more.
Big Show.
My God, CM Punk defended against Mark Henry like 3 weeks in a row. I already had Big Show.
Super weird.
Daniel Bryan.
Why did they do that? SmackDown number 667. Who held the title in between
It was Punk still, but why did he randomly defend?
Yeah. Oh, type in Punk, and then it'll come up.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
Kane.
WWE Championship's done.
Okay, type in Kane.
Primetime players.
All right, type in AJ Lee. Type in
Earth
Kayla. And then
Dynasty.
Layla. Oh, NXT Championship. Do Rollins? Yeah, I was gonna say they were all him.
No, Naomi had that one.
Did we just get all the divas? All right, how many we got left? We only got 12 left.
Okay, WrestleMania pre-show. It was Primo and Epico versus, I think it was John Morrison and R-Truth.
So you could just typed in Primo if you know for a fact that they were in it.
Oh, yeah. I see. Okay, so it was Tyson Kidd. It was Justin Gabriel. I realized that's how early that partnership started.
Oh, so type in Santino because that'll clear that gap up.
Not letting me.
Or Morella. Okay,
we just got it.
Type in.
We just got it. We just got it. We finished.
Nice.
That was a lot easier than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, because if you just type in one last name, it gives you all
right, but I thought it was going to show the champion and then say who they defend against. So we couldn't just type in Punk for all of them and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
That was fun.
It was easy with Punk because he held it for so long.
At every Raw main event? No. We know Mark Henry had 3 in a row, most likely. I hope they had him in the event.
Do you have any other segment ideas?
I had one earlier. Should we do dream matches or something? Or what's your versus then? I don't know.
The versus wheel?
Yeah, we just both pick a wrestler and say
we'd pick 5 wrestlers and who would you book? Yeah, we could do that. We could each pick a random wrestler and who would we rather give the world title to?
You Google
Random wrestler generator. I went to getrandomthings.com. It's a couple throws down.
Yep. I have 6 people.
I also have 6. How should we just pick one quantity?
Quantity 1. I was gonna say we could each just do the top left versus your top left.
We'll just put quantity 1,
okay,
unique, and hit generate. All right, who'd you get?
I
got the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay. Well, we know who's gonna win then because it'd be my guy pretty much no matter what. I got Big Van Vader.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I can send pictures in Zoom, right?
I mean, you could just share your screen.
Yeah, it's a really small picture though. Let me open it a new tab. Okay, that's not really that much smaller, but I'll just share that screen then. I don't know because I imagine you have a regular picture of Ultimate Warrior, right?
No, I can share mine too.
Okay, well,
you share yours first.
So this is the picture I have of Big Man Vader.
The only thing better would have been his dick pic. Oh my god.
Why?
Okay, that's great. I like that it's .gif too.
Yeah. Oh, I saved it because I never wanted to lose this photo. He's got like 2 black eyes. It's horrible.
All right, end your share screen. Yeah. I'll share mine.
We should probably not just do that. We should talk about how.
Oh, you have to give me permission.
Okay, I'll give you permission.
Yeah, and also just kind of copying the ODevs thing.
Is that allowed a multi-pin?
Yeah, I think so. It says host disabled participant screen share.
Oh, here, multiple participants can share simultaneously. Let me try switching the terms to that. Do I have to mark you as sharing your screen?
Maybe.
And share options. Who can share? All participants.
Can you see it?
I now can. That's not a horrible photo.
No, it's just kind of silly.
This match wouldn't be very long.
No, and it wouldn't be very good. It'd be good if it was a squash match and Vader just destroyed Warrior.
Yeah, because Vader could go.
He was very cool.
Vader was very good.
Recently, I watched his match against Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
From 1996. It was very good. The wrong guy won, I think, because Michaels went over.
You ever watched any of Michaels' very early matches with Macho Man?
No.
They had a lifeguard match. Actually, I think Shawn Michaels was the lifeguard in a match for Savage.
What is a lifeguard match?
What do you guess what a lifeguard match is?
Did they fight on a beach?
No.
That I honestly do not know.
A lifeguard match, if I remember correctly, is a singles match,
Okay.
and then it's like a special guest referee where they sit in a lifeguard's chair. You know those tall chairs?
Yeah.
The Shawn Michaels just sat in one of those for a match.
That's weird.
I think it's like they oversee the rinse, they enforce it. Let me Google lifeguard match because, like I said, it was like here it was Macho Man Randy Savage versus. Oh no, that was at Bash of the Beach '95.
I don't think Shawn Michaels was at Bash of the Beach
He
in
was not
1995.
at Bash of the Beach '25, and it's weird because Randy Savage is the guy I know. Did you see that he just switched his venue?
Yeah, they went to a bigger venue because Conrad
Yeah.
Thompson's a piece of shit and he's trying to get all the money he can off his dying dad-in-law who might die in the ring.
Is he his dad-in-law?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I thought they were someone. I thought he was his uncle or something.
No, yeah, he's married to Ric Flair's daughter, which is weird. And it's not even the wrestling daughter. Like, it's so weird. Yeah, apparently I didn't know this because every wrestler in the world has a podcast with Conrad Thompson,
Right.
who is just a finance guy. Like he does mortgage payments or something. Like I don't know what his real job is,
I'm
but he does a podcast with literally every wrestler that's ever existed. And any time his name comes up on cage side seats, people always are just like, "Oh, that guy's a piece of shit." So I'm like, I don't know anything about him.
So I guess this match doesn't exist that I'm thinking of. He did defend the WWE Championship against Shawn Michaels in Munich, Germany on April 14, 1992. But
Okay.
I'm at the DVD box set that I watched the match that I'm thinking of on, and I guess it didn't exist on that DVD box set.
Huh.
So never mind, that match didn't exist. But weirdly enough, Randy Savage did have a match against Ric Flair at Bash of the Beach '95 in a lifeguard match. Not on that box set, so I don't know how I know about Randy Savage's
Lifeguard match.
lifeguard match, but hell I know about it. This has been fun. I think we got to come up with other ideas.
I also think that.
I didn't realize the time, and I have to get to bed because I work in the morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this a good length? Because we've been talking for a while, so
Yeah,
I think we just got kind of sign off.
yeah, and like we know that next time we'll actually have a Dynamite review.
Yes.
Maybe.
And Rampage, depending on when we talk.
I don't watch Rampage.
I watch Rampage.
Oh, 1 second. Let me mute my mic real quick. And then a phone call.
Well, I'll just talk about wrestling and why I think Ryback should win a world title in AEW. I think he should come back. I think Tony Khan should give him a blimp and all of the human monies, and he should come in, fuck the ranking system. He should come in 0-0, destroy CM Punk. Like, I mean, destroy him. Give him a baseball sized lump on his butt again, break his back, and then I think Ryback should hold the world title for 435 days. And then he should maybe put over like John Silver because he's the meat man. And Ryback's like, feed me more. And Johnny Silver's like,
What is
yeah, well,
this?
I'm the meat man. I'm hungry.
What is this?
I'm booking Ryback's comeback.
I
He's
wonder if
going to
I
hold
should
the world title for 435 days.
wonder if I should tape Dynamite, and then when I get home from work on Wednesday, I could watch it. I don't work Thursday, so I could stay up and watch it. I'll probably do that.
Okay.
This has been Brothers in Tights, a wrestling podcast recorded live in a local medical facility.
A good name that we came up with.
I've been one of your tag team hosts, Lex Dahl.
And I'm Bat Tracy.
You didn't go with the tag team joke. I figured we could start doing.
Oh, well, you said it.
Yeah, I said I'm one of them.
Oh, well, I'm the other tag team champion.
Are we champs now? I thought we were just partners.
If we own the company, we're putting ourselves over.
Yeah.
We're going to Jeff Jarrett this.
Whenever we have, we should do a segment. We should do like discussions. You know, when you have to talk about your feelings, but only the person holding the ball can talk about their feelings.
Oh, well, that wouldn't work because Steve Austin took his ball and went home.
You know what I mean, though, right?
Yes.
We could do like a discussion forum type thing about a topic, but we can't interrupt each other. in order for the person, whoever we need to talk, they need to hot tag in.
We'd have to get a tag rope to hold.
This has been the thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. We recorded it.
Should we start our own currency for this wrestling podcast?
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. Like we wouldn't call it like Brothers in Tights currency, so we'd have to like abbreviate to like bit, and then we wouldn't want dollars. We could call like, I don't know, Bitcoin or something.
Okay. Yeah. I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it should be, unregulated.
Right.
So like the government can't touch it.
Yeah. And you know what? We don't want it to be like a handout or anything. You need to like get the best PC. You need a mine for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should do these things where we like take a really shitty JPEG image we find on Google and we sell it for like $200,000. We tell people they own that image, but you can just Google it or anyone can just save it. So,
I got the perfect first picture.
We should sell this as an NFT. Can we? Do we have the rights to it?
I don't know. I think this weird.
How do NFTs work? Can we just sell that?
I don't know. I don't know how NFTs work. I think the owner has to distribute it as so. This wherever this photo comes, search image with Google Lens.
It probably came from his Twitter.
WB News: WB legend Vader involved in a major car accident.
Yeah, he probably posted that to his Twitter.
He tweeted,
It's a selfie.
I walked away from this rollover. I am definitely hard to hurt. God, he was bad at Twitter. It was November 8th, the 8th of November in 2016 from Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, I remember that.
Then he tweeted the same picture again. No, sorry. So, no, that was the second tweet that I read you. That was at 12:51 p.m. But at 11:36 a.m., he tweeted, was in a rollover car accident, healing up in Bowl. I look like a fucking conehead. He didn't know how to type. Like, that was the simplest.
I'm well aware that Vader didn't know how to use Twitter. He sent his dick pic out.
This is how it was written. Oh, what I hit?
Was I in
a rollover car accident, healing up in Bowl. I look like a fucking conhead.
What does in Bowl mean?
Boulder, Colorado.
Oh.
Can this be the thumbnail of the first episode? Our Brothers in Tights, new wrestling podcast.
I love this picture. It's even better that one, he doesn't know how to type. Two, he doesn't know how Twitter really works. And then three, he looked at that selfie and went, yeah, that's great.
He doesn't know how selfies work either because it's the framing of it.
He's not even looking at the camera.
He looks like he's doing a grease paint superhero mask to go fight crime. It's literally a domino mask.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And he's got like the little bat part at the top, where it comes to a points. What are some of the replies to that?
Sure,
there's only 26 retweets. 10 like that's so 64 likes.
Sure, your woman threw you down the stairs, didn't she? Get well, big man. Get well soon. Holy crap, heal up soon, big man. Kindness is not easy.
No, those are more tweets.
Stressful.
You gotta click
nowadays with all the information at our disposal. Ron R. Stress is almost all day for many people. I know it's hard and I'm far from perfect, but when you can, take a breath, summon kindness. No, he sent that to Vader. John Cena was like, Vader needs this.
Do you think he did that on purpose? He put the wrong R and then he said, I'm far from perfect.
Maybe. I'm calling him out. You see this? I saw this earlier today.
It's been really nearly 4 years. This credit sign still be taught. Yes, this time wasted paper. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, when he had the hemp title, God, that was so good.
Okay. So new segment on our show. We look at old weird wrestler tweets every week. Episode 2.
Old Vader tweets.
Yeah, old Vader tweets. Sure. I was gonna say episode 2 is just me when Hulk Hogan thought Bam Margera died. This is still the best tweet in wrestling history.
No, the best tweet in wrestling history. It is still a Hogan tweet, but it's when you work shoot yourself into a work or whatever, or when you work a work and work a shoot into a work, and much love HH.
I thought you were just gonna say Vader's dick pic.
No,
Holy crap, you'll see big
we
man.
can't
Get well
show
soon,
that,
big
I
man.
don't think. And
Everyone
it's hard to
thinks
find.
everyone thinks they're friends with Vader.
Everyone thinks they're friends with people.
God, glad you're relatively okay.
That was the one I read. Do you
That-
not hear me go, "Gah"?
No, that impact looks like it almost as easily could have been fatal. Hope you feel better soon, champ. He had been a champ for years, man. Damn it, you be careful. We can't afford to lose a living legend. Get better soon, big guy. I feel bad because he is dead.
Yeah.
It's a very funny selfie. Hope you up soon. I mean, it's almost however many years. It's been like 6 years. We're good. You should have been WWE champion, bro. Huge fan. Future Hall of Fame, 100%. Love the matches you had with Sting. Classic. That seems like he just posts that on every single Vader tweet. Like Vader's like, hey, I'm seriously hurt. I could have died in this car accident. This guy's like 100% future Hall of Famer.
Hey, can you check your Snapchat?
I swear, if you screenshotted Vader's dick pic and sent it to me, yeah, that's what you did. I should report you.
Don't you love it though?
I didn't really look. He's not even hard.
Oh, he's not. He's got his feet in the picture. He's got the TV in the back. He was bad at Twitter. All right.
What is he watching? I like to think that you didn't have to Google that you still have that saved from when it happened. Oh, I lost it. I didn't save it because I
I
didn't want.
Googled it. Why isn't it saved? It should be the 24-hour.
We don't have that set in.
Yeah, we do.
Remember, I save every Snapchat.
Do we not have that?
No, I save every Snapchat.
Well, here, I'll send it again. Don't worry.
This one hashtag champ. Why did everyone call Vader champ? Look at all these.
I really want to send that to Ken, but I think he'd be upset.
Okay, this is my favorite reply. What road were you on?
Like he's gonna stay off it.
It's like, I'm going to Boulder next week. I do not want to go there.
I do not want to walk away. I'm not as strong as you, champ.
His name is D. Ron Dudley.
Oh, I like how we did our sign off, and this is just
get well soon, big man. I pray to your soon recuperation. Okay, yes, we have been the tag team champs of podcasting. Brothers in Tights.
You know what? Monday Night Raw aired tonight.
Yeah.
Let's check what happened with that really quick before we sign off.
Rhea Ripley got injured, and Elias showed up with Ezekiel.
Yeah, how'd they do that? I mean, I know how they did it.
They sat on opposite things. They sat on opposite sides of the couch.
Yeah.
I can't tell if they filmed it long ago before they had Ezekiel shave the beard, knowing that they were going to do it, or if he has a fake beard. I couldn't tell.
WWE does not plan ahead, so I think it's the fake beard. Or maybe they CGI'd it on.
You don't think when they knew that this was going to be the thing, they put too much work into Ezekiel.
I don't think they put any work into it.
It was like a backstage segment though. That's what's stupid. It's like we want Ezekiel and Elias in the ring together,
which can't be done.
No,
they're the same person.
That's the thing.
Me and Sean Reuter on Cage Side Seats were the only two people that are like, no, they are fake. This is a fake storyline.
They're gonna be Elias and Ezekiel will be the next tag champs right after McMahon and Laurinaitis. Have you seen all those memes that they're the tag champs right now?
No.
Because of all the stuff going down with the affair.
Yes,
and
which is ridiculous.
With Sasha and Naomi, the meme's been going for months ever since Sasha and Naomi turned in the titles to Laurinaitis. Everyone was like Vince and Laurinaitis, new women's tag champs, and then it came back up again.
Oh, okay.
But if we leave you with anything as we finally end this podcast, what are we all about at BIT? Then, now, forever, together. Welcome to Brothers in Tights, the brand new wrestling podcast. See you next time.
That was me throwing the mic.
Okay.
Bye.